What if Yuta had been born in the Heian Era? Let's talk about it, but spoilers beware. Alright, first of all, shout out to Otsukare who asked me to talk about this. And this is a really fun idea because Yuta was absolutely molded by his circumstance and those around him, right? If not for Gojo, he would have been on a completely different path and likely just would have died, right? So what if he had been born in the golden age of sorcery with no Gojo, with no support group or friend group? What would have happened to him? And first and foremost, we are assuming that the Rika thing still happens even in the Heian Era. So he's got this vengeful curse spirit with no one to help him figure it out. Now, I don't think just being born in the Heian Era would fundamentally change like his character, his personality at its core, but that's obviously going to be shaped by his surroundings. But initially, at least, I think Yuta is going to be horrified by this, just like he was in the original series, because Rika was hurting his loved ones around him. So I think Yuta in the Heian Era similarly goes into seclusion to the point where he wants and probably tries to take his own life, but Rika prevents him from doing so, just like in the original series. But again, here, he had Gojo step in and show him the way. In the Heian Era, there's gonna be no one to do that. So that leaves two options in my opinion. Option one is he just succumbs to the isolation and the depression and ultimately does take his own life, but via starvation or something like that, something that Rika can't really prevent. Or he succumbs to the isolation in that his mind breaks, right? And he just gives in to the darkness and becomes a curse user. And let's just be real for a second. This version of Yuta is terrifying. If he threw everything away in the pursuit of his own strength and whims, much like Sukuna did, just think of the heights he could attain. Because not only would this be a Yuta that was just fully pursuing his own selfish strength, but it would be a Yuta with the original version of Rika still, because this wouldn't be a version that he untangled the curse and then got the new watered down version. No, this would be the actual vengeful curse spirit one, the one that didn't have a 5-minute timer and didn't have any conditions on its copy. Ultimately, I think this scenario could only end in one scenario, and that's one where Sukuna and Yuta face off, because we know that Sukuna grew apathetic in the Heian Era, just searching for a challenge, right? So if someone like Yuta was out there, they definitely would have crossed paths. And as for who would win, it's easy to say Sukuna, but really, if we want to push how far this curse user full Rika Yuta could go, I'd say it's within the realm of possibility that maybe he could have even bested the King of Curses, but I'll leave that for y'all to debate in the comments.